Using his freedom of speech to its fullest extent, it's John James and Freedom's Pep Rally. Now, America's friendliest host, your buddy, John James.
We are going to be talking with someone shortly. I do this oftentimes. We get this done by the skin of our teeth, and it always somehow it always works out. Everything always works out, and I actually operate best by the skin of my teeth. So that's fine with me. All right. Just hold on a second. I got to do something there and something there. All right. We're going to be talking with retired United States Marine Corps Major Scott Huesing. He is a best-selling author of the book Echo and Ramadi, and he's also riding a motorcycle for a long distance for a great cause. And I believe they are on the road this morning. They're on, I guess you're at the Alabama town line. Good morning, Major Huesing.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks for being on.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on. And that's correct. We are pulled over the side of the road to grab an interview. We are exactly at the Alabama-Mississippi state line. I'm looking at the sign right now, and we are riding across the country. I started in California, from Southern California all the way to Miami, Florida, to help stop veteran suicide. And we do that at SaveTheBrave.org. I'm the executive director. We started 6 years ago, and it began with one fishing trip. This year we've got 36, but we also do events like the Ride for the Brave, which I'm doing. We help our Gold Star families, first responders, and we've been doing it and really have had a great metric of success based on the thousands of people we've helped over the years, and we continue to do it. And this year we're riding city to city with the goal of raising $50,000, and we're getting closer every mile we pass.
That is terrific. Now, we're up here on the East Coast. We're in Maine, but we have people listening in Florida who are looking forward to you. Ken says 3,000 miles on a Harley. God bless him, hoping he has a safe trip. And how many more miles do you have left to go, Major Huesing?
Well, I'm turning on the bike. I've got 2,132 miles under my belt. So we got roughly another probably close to 1,000 miles left to go on this journey. We're headed to Tallahassee right now, to the Harley dealership in Tallahassee, then down to Gainesville the next day and Tampa. And then we'll cross the finish line at Peterson's Harley in Cutler Bay, Florida, which is just outside of Miami.
Oh, that's terrific. Hey, say, I'm going to tell you something. If you want to hear my dulcet tones while you're there in Gainesville, Major Huesing, make sure you catch the news in Gainesville on WCJB TV 20. I am the news voice of that television station, so I'll be talking right at you there. I always like to give them a plug when I've got somebody going through Gainesville. So there you go. Now,
yeah, right on.
Now, you wrote the book Echo in Ramadi, and this is from personal experience, correct?
Echo in Ramadi is the firsthand story of U.S. Marines in Iraq's deadliest city. I wrote that book not just to honor the young men and women that fought alongside my company day in and day out, most no more than 18, 19 years old. But really, I wrote that book for the other 99% of America that really needs to understand the service and sacrifice of our nation's young warriors and what they do day in and day out. It's
Amen.
Not just a story about the fighting and the friction, but really about this power of human connection that we share, and how important that is in leadership and team building and overcoming adversity. That's really the most important aspect of the book, and that's why it's been a #1 bestseller for years.
It really is, and it gets 5-star reviews. How many books get 5-star reviews? I love that, and that's my next read, by the way. I have not read the book, but that is my next read. My late dad was a U.S. Marine, and so it's very close to my heart when I get to talk with a United States Marine, Semper Fi, by the way. And this is absolutely great. So I encourage people to get the book, Echo in Ramadi, and go to savethebrave.org. Is that it? O-R-G?
Yes, sir. SaveTheBrave.org. And, you know, one of the things I say we're trying to stop veteran suicide. I'd never use the word awareness because they're two vastly different terms. And we understand that the number will never get to zero.
Right.
But we like to think at SaveTheBrave.org, what we're doing to connect veterans, combat vets who are struggling post-traumatic stress in a safe space is really essential to help them heal, maybe hit the reset button to reconnect with guys that they have a shared understanding with. And that's one of the most important things. And the testimonials we get back from those we've interacted with really serve as a metric of success, because at the end of the day, we're really empowering those within our tribe to do things on their own, do their own rides, do their own trips, do their own events. And that's a powerful thing. And we're really grateful and humbled, me personally, to be able to have that capacity to make an impact on so many people. That's
great. Now we have, I'm lucky enough to live very close to a great veterans administration, just a few miles away, as a matter of fact. My wife is an ER nurse at the VA at Togus, Maine, which is in Augusta. And they deal a lot with psychological issues and problems and suicidal tendencies, and they have been just a great asset. So I've heard from so many veterans in our area, and this is something that needs to be addressed. And I'm glad people like you are taking the time to bring attention to it and raise money to help it. And no, go ahead.
We like to think that what we're doing is bridging the gap between what the VA can't do and what other nonprofits don't do. Everybody does their part. And a good friend of mine asked me, with such a powerful government and the VA and all of the corporate wealth that we have, why are veterans always taking up these causes? Why are they always having to raise money for themselves? And my answer is simple: because we are people of action. We don't wait around for handouts. We take care of our own tribe first, and that's what we're out here doing. And there's people that talk about doing things, and then there's people that do things. They get on their motorcycle and they ride 3,000 miles. They get online and they donate. They make a difference. That's what we're counting on for this ride, is to have all your listeners go on and maybe just make a $10 monthly donation, less than the cost of a tank of gas. And that's going to make a huge impact. And I've got an amazing team of support out here, riders from the American Legion, fellow veterans, civilians, firefighters, cops. We've got a massive 38-foot RV following us to keep us all safe. So it's an amazing journey that was started last year when my high school mate, Navy veteran Dave White, committed suicide.
Yeah.
His mom asked me to come to South Carolina, and I rode 5,150 miles last year. And this year, people wanted to do it again. So I said, let's ride.
I'm so sorry about your friend. I heard about that. I'm very sorry, but it was the impetus for something that does good. And, and that I think is honoring his memory, Scott. And I, just love to you and support for you. We're talking with Major Scott Huesing, USMC retired, author of Echo in Ramadi, a best-selling book, taking the ride from San Diego down to Miami right now to raise money for, to help prevent veteran suicides. I've got to ask you, this is a little off topic, Major Huesing, but I want to know, with all that's going on in the news right now, in the current administration, and with General Milley, you would think that there is just uncontrolled racism and sexism in the military. How do you respond to the narrative that's being put out there?
Well, that general's taking orders just like every good soldier does, and I'm sure he's under a lot of pressure. But I've been removed from active duty for a while, but I still stay very connected with 2nd Battalion 4th Marines and the active duty component as the executive director of another nonprofit. And I'll tell you, it's every generation goes through this. It's a sine wave of culture shift and policy shift. And I think that what we have is another reaction to a change in administration. I'm sure there's plenty of active duty service members that don't necessarily personally agree with it, but you know what soldiers and Marines do well? They follow orders. And, that's essential to good order and discipline within the military. I've always said, and I'll stand behind it, that the military should never be used as a petri dish for social experimentation. That's not our mission. We're war fighters. We're here to protect this country and fight battles abroad if that is required of us, to make sure that politicians have a place to administer and legislate so Americans can feel safe. That's what we do. I think that this experiment of democracy is going to continue to prevail as long as both sides believe that in democracy. That's the most important part. Not politics, not parties, but people and the belief in this country. I think we're going to stay on the track and be moving fast for a long time.
Yeah, that's good. That's a great attitude, and I love to hear that. But a lot of people are afraid right now, and a lot of people are saying that the current edicts are softening our military, and it just worries us. And you're saying we shouldn't be worried, or should we just sort of?
If they need to get a good litmus test, anybody that's just sitting in their house getting spoon-fed from mainstream media needs to get on their Harley or car, ride across the country and experience the best of the human condition, or go to a base and volunteer and really interact with our active duty service members. Volunteer, get a food drive, get a clothes drive, do something for a returning unit coming back from deployment, and ask them themselves. That's the best way to really gauge and get a informed opinion, is not have it fed to you, and really understand that yourself. I'm a very firm believer of boots on the ground, getting out and doing things and seeing what the God's honest truth is. And that's my advice, brother.
I love it. You're a good man and a great soldier and a great American. And thank you for your service. It's Major Scott Huesing, author of the book Echo and Ramadi, and right in the middle, right at the Alabama-Mississippi line right now on his ride down to Miami. And I know you've got to hit the road again, sir. And I really, really appreciate your stopping to take the time to talk with us this morning. This is a very important thing. It's savethebrave.org. And we encourage you. So you got
love your show right there.
I love that. We appreciate everything.
Truckers love it. Everybody does. Hey, I want to say thanks to you. Thanks for having me on the program. To all the listeners, go to savethebrave.org. You guys are part of the solution, and get involved. Do your part. I just want to say thanks again, and Semper Fi, brother.
Semper Fi. You have a great day and a great safe trip. God bless you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Scott.